part of our scope of work, that is the PCS CDP team, what we do is, basis our experience in this team, we have understood what are the different controls applicable for different kind of services. We generate those controls, we help the delivery leads in mobilizing those services, and then we help the assigned service leads who are there to validate the controls on how the control can be validated, what are the requirements the control is talking about, and what are the evidence that the service lead need to provide to validate that control. Okay, so all that, guiding the delivery teams, validating the controls, and ensuring compliance is what the PCS CDP team does. Okay, and then regular training and awareness, is there is a annual training which everybody has to do, and there is also the regular trainings and the decks which we do as part of our services, and we take sessions for the delivery teams, and we explain them or provide them a general awareness on key controls, or like due to COVID, everybody is working from home. So what are the basic controls which teams can follow to ensure, there are no breaches? And then we are talking about foundational controls, which talk about how do we store the data, how do we transmit the data, and how do we assess and host client data. Okay, as I was mentioning about how these requirements are implemented. So there are requirements like your any Accenture device, or in that case any device which you are using for supporting client work should be hard disk encrypted or USB enabled. So all these requirements are also tracked within the client data protection program. And then we have a central CDP team. Okay, so we are part of the PCS CDP team. There is a central CDP team who is the SMEs in this area, primarily because they are, getting or they are responsible for implementing any new requirements which have been approved by the global leadership through the CDP plan for any services or any areas, right, which they think fit. So every other day, you'll see that there is a new control coming up, or there is a new change which is happening within the CDP plan related to cloud, related to probably application maintenance, firewall, or anything. Okay, so that is how the whole program is being structured. Sorry, and I have been sharing it. Yeah. So this is what I gave you a gist about. Okay, anything when it comes any new deal or an extension of the current deal, when it comes, it goes through a risk assessment process. You must have seen it as part of your MMS session, that how an opportunity is booked, and then how it or different stages it goes through. So once it is at stage 2A or 2B, before that, it has to complete the risk analysis. If there are any gaps which are found, they have to then be mitigated and then added in the contractual requirements. And then we implement the program. And that is, your CDP plan is formally or officially initiated, and we mobilize the required controls based on the services, assign them to the right people, and then we manage and monitor the regular compliance. The different controls which I spoke about are these controls, right? So under these controls also, if we talk about access, logging, accountability, there are multiple controls which are there, and based on the services which have been provided, these controls get aligned. Okay, and as I was telling you about the ISO 27001 certification, this is the e-certificate of our CDP program. Okay, yeah, this is an old view of the CDP, but somehow the dashboard is, kind of, little changed, but I'll show you that in the tool directly. Okay. Accenture approach to contracting and how we hire, people with the third party vendors. Okay. and how do we manage these contractors to ensure that the personal information is always protected. Okay. Going through these screenshots now, I'll show you that in the tool, but these are kind of the controls which I was talking about, right? And compliance to various regulatory requirements or contractual requirements, they all fall under legal contractual controls. And this is an example of the GDPR control. So GDPR is a general data protection requirement, which is applicable if you are accessing the data of the EU personal data of the EU region. Okay, then your legal contractual controls of GDPR are applicable. Okay, now I'll just directly jump into our tool. So give me a moment. So these are the various accounts. So if you see, these are the clients which are under our team. Okay, and each account or each project or a deal is having their own separate CDP plan. Okay, so if I open any of the CDP plans, so I was opening KKR, which is our new deal. Okay, so here we see the accountable managing director. So leadership sponsorship. Okay, so Devinder Gautam, who is our overall AMD. Okay, he is being mentioned as the AMD here. So he is basically responsible for the overall implementation of the CDP plan and ensuring that we are complying to the requirements. Then every account has to have an account information security lead in place, who on the ground works with the respective delivery leads, the control owners, contract managers, central CDP team, and PMOs as such to ensure that your the controls what have been required are implemented, and if there are any gaps that are mitigated. Okay, and as I was talking about the central CDP team, here we have CDP account manager who is from the central CDP team. Okay, oh, these guys continuously monitor and check how we are complying, how we are doing. So currently, if you see, we have the risk index, right? And this is based on the number of controls, okay, which are past you and been not validated or non-compliant. So based on that, our current risk index is 72.35, okay, which is quite high, and we are being on the verge of getting escalated. But this is, yeah, again, this is because of some of the other delivery team members who have been on leave or who have not actioned, right? And then we start escalating them. And these are the controls of the account information security lead, which is responsible for the overall account level compliance. Okay. So what are the different phases within this? So if you'll see, we are talking about opportunity. As I said, any new deal which comes in or any existing work which will come in has to go through the risk assessment. And this is the stage 2A, right? And it is already showing in amber. It means the respective solution architect has to go ahead and complete the risk assessment for these opportunities. Okay, once an opportunity is won, which is stage 3B, after stage 3B, it moves into the mobilization phase. Okay, and here you will see the numbers. So currently we have 6 contracts which have been mobilized, and one is in blue. It means it is getting due probably in some days, and it has to be actioned and mobilized. And if it is past the due date, it will immediately turn yellow. And if it is past the 60 days, then it will turn red. Okay. And then we have these delivery controls, which have been generated based on the contract services we have mobilized. So in this, we have, like in KKR and Co, we have almost everything which is, we are doing for the client. It is a huge transformation project, lift and shift, but we are responsible for the complete infrastructure hosting and IT separation, right? So we have 570 controls which are sitting in green. It means these are being validated by the respective control owners. We have 92 controls which are in blue, which means they are getting past you probably tomorrow or within coming days. And then there are 6 which are past you of their, like probably only today they have turned into yellow status. And then there are 45 controls which have been past due for more than 14 days. Okay, and there has been no action on them, or they are being marked as non-compliant. Any audits, these have been recent, dashboard view. So any audits, if they are happening internally, and any findings which will be there, these get reflected here. And if we are having any subcontractors delivering the work for us, then there is a separate tracking for those subcontractor controls. Okay, the expected range an account should fall in by the end of the month is 0 to 5, which is blue, and 0 is green. If it is more than 5, it is yellow, and then if it is more than, it depends how they want to track it. But if it is more than 15 or so, then you are into red, right? And yes, let's get into opportunity phase. Okay, so whatever you see here will be reflected down. Okay, so there are no opportunities in red. There are 2 in yellow, 2 in blue, and 3 in green. So if you see here, 2 blue, 3 green, and the yellows might be sitting down. Yeah. So any opportunity which is in then, require actions, the respective sales lead or the solution architect has to go ahead and assess the opportunity. Okay, and there are different requirements or which are needed to be filled in by these respective solution architects, starting from the basic demographics of the deal. Okay, to the basic demographic means like which market unit lead, which client group it is coming under, and related technology, right? What are the planned FTEs? When is the start and end date of the engagement? What kind of data you will be accessing? What are the services we will be delivering, right? Whether the cloud computing is in scope, whether there will be any subcontractors, any technical controls which the client has asked us to implement or which we think will be applicable, and any other additional information. Based on these, we will then be able to, okay, it is not asking. Okay, let me see if something is already done, then you will see. So based on this, a risk rating is generated by the tool, okay, based on your responses, and based on that, there is a QA review call if it is above normal or high risk opportunity. And then we go through the different processes of reviews and ensuring that any specific requirements which we need to contractually add in the contract are being taken care. Okay. So if you see this, for this opportunity, the risk assessment has already been completed. And there is a short description of the project which has been given here. If you go next, which is on the data demographics, right? Will we have PII information, which is personally identifiable information? What will be the business confidential information, where the client data access will be stored, whether it is, in our scope of work, that is, we will be hosting the client, or it will be the third party, or it will be the client controlled environment, or Accenture will be using any third party, as I was talking to you about, the subcontractors, to deliver these services, right? And then we have the kind of data, as I mentioned, will be able to locally download the data into our systems. We will have the ability to modify the data, okay, and whether the VPN or the client provided MFA will be used. Okay, these are various kind of services and what we can deliver to clients. So what are the services applicable in this deal? Okay, as I mentioned, whether the cloud computing or is in scope, which means whether we are using cloud technology, who is providing the cloud services, right? Whether it is client or it is a third party. And then are we responsible for the implementation or are we responsible for the run and the maintenance? And will cloud hosting services be enabled using the cloud manager or CMO? So we have this Accenture cloud platform, which is now called as CMO. Whether we will be doing the services or not is what is required to be filled in or answered. And whether any subcontractors will be engaged. And as I was talking about the technical controls, right? What are the devices which will be used? Is it Accenture or client workstations? Whether they will be, we will be accessing the system through Citrix. Will there be multi-factor authentication enabled by the client? SOD, segregation of duties, right? I'll talk about this, and then whether we'll have the admin or privileged access. Any shared or generic IDs will be provided by the client. Will the client data be transmitted over emails and over an unencrypted channel? Okay, which is a big no. So if they say yes, then there will be a requirement of that clause to be entered into your contract. Okay, and if you see the final risk is above normal based on the services we are providing, based on the kind of access we have, right? This is turned up to be a above normal risk opportunity. So there would have been a lot of review which would have gone at the background for this opportunity to ensure that the price as well as the contractual documentation, it takes care of the risk. Okay. Any questions? I hope you guys are listening.
What is opportunity?
Yeah, okay. So as I said, any new deal or an existing deal, right? Which we are, when I say deal, it is a work, right? So for instance, we are this KKR and Co is a relevant, or I would say, yeah, considerably a new deal for us. Now we are into I think 6-8 months of delivery. So this was altogether a new client which we took over. Okay, and Accenture decided to provide the services to this client. It is a KKR and Co is an organization which has taken over Vela from Coty. Okay, and it is a IT separation project. So what we are doing in KKR and Co is we are separating the whole IT or the infrastructure of the Vela and setting it up as a standalone company for KKR, who has bought it from Coty. Okay, so all the any such new accounts which come in, they have to have a client data protection in place, and that is called as an opportunity. Okay, so I think you had a MMS session. So for instance, now we have this plan mobilized, and these two new opportunities are two new scope of works which we are in discussion with the client, right, to take over. Okay, and if we are able to win these opportunities, right, they will then be contracted or proper documentation and legal review and all will happen, and it will become a contract for us, right? We'll have a statement of work and we'll start delivering the work for that opportunity. So any new opportunity which is coming in that is over and above the existing scope of work which we are doing, or for example, we are delivering application delivery development services for the client, and the client says, okay, you can also, now that this is over, you can start also delivering the application maintenance services for us. That is an extension of your existing scope, right? Or they say that, okay, as part of your application development services, you are doing, so and so for us, you can also add this much to your existing scope of work. So that is your extension. So any new deal which we are doing with the new client, or any extension of the existing deal which we are doing with our current client, it has to go through the MMS phase. And once it is entered into the MMS, this tool is integrated with it, and it starts reflecting in the CDP, and it has to, till the time it has been, entered into MMS, from the time it has been delivered to the client, it has to go through the whole CDP process. Okay, and it has various stages till the time it is won and it becomes a contract from stage 0 to stage 3B. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes.
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Under the CDP, does Accenture also audit the client company structure as per ISO norms?
No. See, so we are the vendors, right? So the audit happens through the client, right? Or the client is going to audit us because we are delivering the services for them. But if Accenture is, for instance, if for example we are taking a subcontractor for delivering services to KKR and Co, probably a piece of work which we are not able to deliver, or which we are not the skills which we don't have, then that third party vendor which we have contracted with, then we will be able to audit them, but we cannot go back and audit the client. Okay. So it's not, it doesn't follow that way. The client audits us, and we audit our third parties.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, but then yes, in some cases, right? So for instance, if we take a classic example of probably the password standards. Okay, so in Accenture we have some minimum standards which need to be followed. Okay, and we have very stringent guidelines for the password. But in probably in some cases the client might not be following those stringent standards. And there is a very there is an example of this, in Accenture, every 75 days you need to change your passwords. But in most of the cases, in the rest of the organizations, they follow 90 days policy of changing the passwords. So such type of non-compliance, if it is there, then what we do is we raise this risk to the client, that this is what is the basic or minimum requirements followed by Accenture, and this is what you are following, and there is a gap, and hence we will need a risk waiver, or we'll need a risk letter. So in password mismatch cases, or the standards not matching, it's not a very detailed process. We just send a letter to the client and stating that it's, there are gaps. But in some cases which are critical, for instance, another simple example of hard disk encryption. If the client is providing the devices which are not hard disk encrypted, then we will take a risk letter from the client, where the client has to accept the risk of the devices not being encrypted. Because if the resources have access to confidential or highly confidential data, then there is a risk of being that data being taken out from your local machines after you are downloaded, which which can be mitigated otherwise, right? If it is hard disk enabled. So all that, critical controls then go through a proper process. We request the client if they are able to apply those controls. If not, then we go ahead for an exception process. Okay. So in that way, we do assess what is being followed in Accenture and what is being followed by the client. And if there are any gaps, then we work with the client in mitigating those or asking the client to accept the risk. Okay, so now we move to the mobilization phase. So as I said, once the opportunity is won, it moves into the mobilization phase. And in this phase, we have to mobilize it within 30 days of it coming into our kitty. Okay, so this is a opportunity and we have to mobilize it by 30th of December. Okay, and if we are not mobilizing it by then, it will turn yellow and then red, and then it starts to get reflected in the global non-compliance report. Okay, and how do we mobilize an opportunity? If you'll see here, we have mobilized this opportunity. It's a Japan deal within this KKR and Co. And these are the services which we have mobilized, right? Okay, this is the name of the contract number, and the consulting or data analysis services which we are delivering to the KKR and Co. from the location Tokyo, right? And this is your service control owner or the service lead who will be responsible for the controls which are generated for this location and this service for this contract. And he has to regularly come and review and validate those controls. And once the contract gets delivered, then we end the contract from the tool. Okay, so if you see, our main opportunity within this program is this one, and it is a high risk opportunity because of the kind of data we are accessing, the whole infrastructure scope which we have, right? And this is the whole scope of work which we have mobilized for this opportunity. Application configuration, ICMS, which is infrastructure, cloud and managed services. And there is other services which probably is not falling in any other scope of services. So based on this, we have the controls which are generated, and now the respective leads have to validate these controls. So how anyone can check what controls are validated to them is that if they click on delivery, for instance, as the account information security lead for this account, whatever controls are assigned to me will start reflecting here. Okay, and I will have to make sure that these controls are validated, and I cannot just go ahead and mark, I can validate it as yes, no, I cannot do that unless and until I make sure that this requirement of the control is being complied by all the respective engagements in the account. Okay, but if you see this, it is talking about a mobilization phase summary control, which talks about monthly. I should see how many new mobilizations have come, and I should be ensuring that these are validated on time. So since I don't have any amber or past due mobilizations, I can validate this control. Okay, so these are some of the straightforward controls. But in some cases, I cannot simply validate the control. So now if you see this control, it has come, it's a semi-annual control, and it is talking about the configuration of cloud environments. Right now, I won't be having the complete insight of this. So I'll have to work with the respective team, answer these questions, right? Whether we are compliant to them or not, and then get it validated, right? And these questions are, if you see the SOC compliance, we have a MSS team which works on these vulnerability scanning and all. So these are, things which we need to then work with the respective security or the delivery teams and then validate. Okay. Once you get into the details of this controls, you'll come across different controls and different services, what we are delivering, and what are the various gaps you can see as part of your day-to-day role and what are the different regulatory requirements which we have to comply. So if we are having access to the health data of the US citizens, then HIPAA has to be in compliance, right? So we need to get into the agreement. So that's about your CDP plan maintenance and management. And there are many things in it. I cannot cover it within a 1 hour session, but I'll just give you a glimpse of the data inventories. So if you understand how the data is classified within Accenture, as I said, right, what data you have access to and how much of data you have access to, right? And how could you classify what data you have access to? You should be able to classify the data or categorize the data into the data classification standards of Accenture. So we have data classification standards from public, confidential, highly confidential, and restricted. Restricted being the highest level of access. Okay. So if we have access to any personal data, which is bank account, credit card numbers, health data, all these data is considered as a highly confidential data. Okay. And whether we'll be accessing it through the client or any third party, right? That is also the question, because it increases the risk, right? What are the maximum number of records which we'll have access to? Okay, and this becomes your personal data, this becomes your business data, right? So any financial information of the client you will have access to. Since we are doing lift and shift for the client, and we are transferring all the client financials and all related information to the new infrastructure, we have access to all this data. So it is being classified as highly confidential. Okay. Whether any non-public financial strategic confidential business data, right? Any acquisitions, anything which we will be aware of, if that is what we are having access to. Okay, this is a new thing which has just popped up, and we have to work with the control owner to get it validated. So whether we have data which is of the national defense value, government security, or the nuclear power, okay, or any government related data. And then any non-public business data is your day-to-day data, which you work with the client, minutes of meetings, or any other mail communication probably which you have access to, but you cannot just go ahead and talk about it as such, right? And based on your confidentiality or highly confidential data access, you need to select this additional control, okay, which talks about data prevention then, right? So what happens is, if you have access to highly confidential data, you need to have additional controls in place which provide further protection to that data, right? So now they have said that they have access to highly confidential business data, and they have selected this option, which is blocking of or offloading of data from local workstations. So this is what I was talking about. You have USB enabled, you have CD DVD write capability enabled, and you have DLP tools, which are Accenture data loss prevention tools, which are in place and which we are complying to, right? And then if there is a non-production environment, then we need to ensure that all the data sitting in the non-production environment, which is personal data, is anonymized. Okay. And another option which mostly we prefer is, if possible, is that the data always retains on client servers and we have no ability to download the data. Okay. And if you are sitting in Accenture offices, then we have this secured base, right? And there are the guidelines for how you can comply to the secured bay requirements. Okay. So all these are the additional controls. And also based on, if you'll see, if I say I have access to highly confidential here, bank account numbers, you will see additional pop-up which has come up, which talks about from which countries it is originating. right? Whether it is originating from Europe, North America, or growth markets. And if it is originating from Europe, you will see the GDPR relevant controls which have been initiated. Okay, and when you talk about any health data, then you will have HIPAA, and it is a, so there are different regulatory and contractual requirements which we need to comply to as part of our CDP program. And then we work with these respective control owners and the delivery leads to ensure that these are compliant on day-to-day basis. And in case these are not, then the regular escalations are done. So as part of this, we are doing, as I was talking about, right? So we are doing various awareness materials which have been sent. So I think I was reviewing one which we recently sent. Yeah, so if you see, these are your information security awareness series. Okay, so we have sent about password security, right? So this is sent to the whole account, and this is being made by us. And then I think just today we have published in the ATCI. I think you guys would have also received this. So this is what, yeah, top 10 IS behavior is what the team has published today as a postcard. Okay, so you might be also getting this. So this is kind of awareness materials which we do, and then we take sessions for the delivery leads. And then we have the reporting which we do. Okay, so let me show you an example of reporting. So if you see here, since we are non-compliant, I have written to the overall our application delivery lead that we have an control owner who is not replying, and I've copied the accountable managing director, whom we work very closely with to ensure that we are complying. Okay, so yeah, and then we do various kind of reporting, which is on weekly or monthly basis. Okay, so this is a slide deck which we have shared with them on the town hall sessions. Where is my, yeah. Okay, so this is, yeah, the reporting which we have done. As on last month, this is again, we have automated this to some extent. It's a PBI report, and we just add the highlights and some documentation or some wording, right? The rest of the data is already picked by this report, and then we send it to our AMD and the key MDs and the account, highlighting what was the status of the account, what are the issues, right, and how the control trend is, what are the pending controls. Okay, and we also track roll on and roll off if it is being maintained by us or the PMO team, and based on the account priorities, we also do the IS advocate tracking, right, on bronze, silver advocate reporting. So this is the kind of monthly reporting which we do, and then we have weekly reporting also, which goes to multiple accounts. So that is all about the role which we are performing. Another thing is audit. Okay, so we are ensuring as part of our role that all the controls and the requirements are validated and validated with the right evidences, right, if needed, and we do a regular compliance check on them and highlight the gaps to our internal folks, and it does help in keeping the account ready. And if there is any this internal and external audit, we are then always account audit ready, right, and there are not much of surprises So we have been participating in the BSI audits, representing the account, and also showcasing to our BSI auditors how we maintain the data plan and how we are maintaining the compliance across the whole contracts. Okay, so that's in brief a gist about CDP and the role which we are performing. Any questions?
Hello.
Yes.
In one slide, you have mentioned about MSS. Can you
Mhm.
please say in little detail what is MSS?
Yes. Yes. So MSS is your security team, right? It's a shared, or you can say security services, managed security services team by Accenture. This is another team within your ISMS structure who is responsible for security for around various parameters, right? So for instance, in Vela or in KKR account, which I am working with, this team is responsible for monthly scanning of all the servers, of all the servers we have access to, the clouds which we are maintaining, and then they will provide these reports to the respective application teams and for remediation of those gaps. So there is another team which is full-fledged doing only the security. Then we, as part of their scope of work, we have identity and access management also, which is taken care by them. We have incident management, which is taken care by them. So there are many further domains which this MSS team drives. Okay, so as part of my role as an ASL, or my team member as an ASL delegate, we work with these teams then, who is the assigned person for our account, to ensure that the monthly scanning and the vulnerability reportings are being published, and any actions are being taken, and they are validating their controls on these vulnerability scanning, patching, and all on time with the right evidences.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, I have received the future hardlock. The project is like just a second. Yeah, MSS, M and O. What does mean?
I'm not sure. Maybe Onaiza will be able to tell you where she has logged you.
Yeah, actually, PCS Ops team will get back to you with the proper project details. So you can ignore the auto mailers that you have received for now.
Okay.
Okay, so I think you guys are probably confusing it with the MSS. So yeah, so the mail which you guys have been getting on MSS, it is the managed shared services. Okay, so we are all part of shared or PCS shared services. We have some of our folks who are dedicated to the accounts, and they are tagged to the respective market. But we are part of cross market, and we fall under MSS, that is managed share services. Hence, you would see that thing reflecting in your auto mailers or whatever, right? But we have a MSS, which is a security services group also within Accenture, which is different from this MSS. Anything else from anyone? No. Okay, so I think great. So thank you, and wishing you all the very best, and maybe our paths will cross soon. Have a nice remaining evening. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.